questions? Yes.
Swamiji, yesterday you told in the class that spiritual instruction begins only when one stops blaming other and oneself.
Yes.
But how does one do that?
How does one stop blaming oneself and others? Very good question. Through practice. When the finger goes like that, you do chin mudra. That is the best thing. That's the best use of this finger. Just going, See, it's easier to stop blaming others than oneself, in a way, generally. Because what happens is that blaming others comes due to a misunderstanding that they are the cause of my problems. In Vedanta, we have a maxim. What is that? You spot it, you got it. Meaning, if you spot some problem in another, that means you have it. That's why it's irritating you there. If you spot it, you got it. That's what it means. So if you are discerning it in somebody else, like, oh, why are they so annoying? I feel like strangling them. That feeling comes. That means there is a little bit of that in oneself. Okay? Because what is the message? There is no other. Everything is one. And even on the empirical level, Vyavaharika level, on the empirical level, it is all connected. It's all just interconnected. So we can deal with it like this. Step number 1, there is a reason why this annoying person, who I feel like blaming, is in my life. And what is the reason? Karma. Yes. Karma. Karma doesn't mean you become passive and you let the person walk all over you and exploit you. That's not your karma. No. Karma means this annoying person is in your life. Annoying person, annoying within quotes. This annoying person is anointed to be in your life. Karma. Karma does not permit or allow for there to be passivity. Karma is there as a shock absorber. So that is immediately the blame meter goes down. Okay, there must be some reason. And karma is what? A manifestation of Bhagavan. So it's a manifestation of Ishvara. So this is the first step. To say that, especially if it's a kind of a relationship you haven't chosen, sibling, in-laws, etc. You haven't chosen them, they are there. And so you make peace, parents, all these things. You say, okay, there is a reason why they are like that. There is a reason why they are like that. There is a reason why they are in my life. One step number 1. Step number 2, you see that the other person has a background. They are angry. Why? There is some hurt and pain because of why the anger is coming up. You don't have to know what it is. You don't have to try and make them free of that either. You don't have to try and alleviate that anger. You just tell yourself there is anger, meaning there is pain, there is anxiety, whatever it is. When you appreciate they have a background, then whatever they are saying against you or whatever they are doing, immediately you start understanding it a little more. You may not forgive it or condone it or allow it. You don't feel like allowing it, but you understand it. And that is enough for not blaming the other person. Nobody wants to lie. But people lie. Why? There is a fear that if I tell the truth, somebody is going to judge me. So you feel pity for that person. Oh, poor So this background of helplessness is there. That is why they are telling untruths. What kind of untruths? Blatant untruths that can easily be cross-checked. Easily you can cross-check that. But they have some pressure. Raga, dvesha, pressure. I had breakfast with American president. You know. When did you go? Oh, just a few days back. Oh, but I thought he had gone somewhere on that day. It's easy to check up. It's easy to check up that this could just not have happened. But still the person continues. Oh, I was in the committee that made all the preparations for the G20 meetings. How come your name is not there in any of the lists of all the volunteers or the committee people? No, I'm a modest person and I didn't want my name on the list like this. Somebody told me this. I had gone to inaugurate something, I forget what, long back. And then there was this man who said, you know, I did everything. I did all. I don't like any accolades. I don't like anything. I did everything. And then I said, what is your name? And he told me his name, and I had been given a brochure by the organizers, so I was looking for his name. He said, you won't find it there. I'm not a person who will put my name onto things. And then suddenly I saw the organizers, and I called them to me because I thought, oh, let's just, give him some validation. And by the time the organizers, they were talking to somebody else, they came and this person had pushed off, nowhere to be found. These things happen. It's not a bad person. The action is strange, and the action is coming out of the pressure of raga, dveshas. And that is why you don't blame them. You make you understand their background, so you make a separation between the person and the conduct, the person and the behavior. You find the behavior difficult to deal with, but the person you can accommodate without needing to accommodate the behavior. That is step number 2. Step number 3, that same logic you put onto yourself. Same logic. And what is the logic? Logic is that just like they have a background, I also have a background. I have triggers, I have core issues, I have difficulties, I have raga, dvesha, pressures. And under their spell, I do a lot of things. And so I'm able to forgive myself. I'm able to forgive myself. Again, forgive doesn't mean I'm able to, do the same thing over again because I've forgiven myself. That means it's a license to do it all over again. No. I'm able to say, okay, I was helpless. Next time, I will know better. And I make a sincere attempt next time. This is how one stops blaming others and oneself. By Ishwarizing, is that a word? Now it is. And so by Ishwarizing the entire universe, including your own likes, dislikes, preferences, prejudices, and the pressure they exert, and that the other person also has those same pressures, you acknowledge. And you become, that's how one grows into an accommodative person. You have room to accommodate your own imperfections. And you have room to accommodate the imperfections of others, because really, when you Ishwarize the imperfections, you are perfect. There was one more question.
This might be something closer to what you explained just now, but my question was, you said seeds of pain and sorrow are already implanted in every person.
Yes. Seeds of pain and sorrow are already with the person, yes. And so, what is the question? How can we say it's already there? Because one reacts. One reacts, that's why. How do we know that seeds of pain and sorrow are there because when you are in a conflictual situation, you feel pain, you feel sorrow. Otherwise, one wouldn't. One could be objective, but the seeds are already there. Pujya Swamiji used to say it's always the sad person, the already sad person feels sad in a sad situation. The already angry person gets angry. So sorrow, anger, etc., those seeds are there. Depending on, and then there is also seeds of, it's not just sorrow, pain and anger. There are seeds of accommodation, there are seeds of compassion, and then there are seeds of kindness. Which seeds are you going to choose to water and nurture? If I water the seeds of anger, they will grow into weeds and strangle me. If I water the seeds of accommodation, meaning practice accommodation, practice that even if you don't feel like it, because that is the real nature. To be accommodative, to be compassionate, to be kind, to want inner growth, to want to give happiness to others, sometimes even at the cost of our own. These are natural tendencies. They look fake because we are so used to saying me, my body, my possessions, stay away. And everybody is taking advantage of me, everybody is exploiting me, everybody wants too many things of me. This is the feeling, and it is normalized. And people say this also. In general psychological parlance, people say this. What do they say? If you have never received love, how can you give love? And you say, yeah, that is also true. And then we believe it. But this is not the reality. The reality is, one is Ananda. And what is love? Love is the dynamic form of Ananda. That is what love is. Love is an expression of that Ananda. So if you are already Ananda, you don't have to get Ananda from somewhere in order to give it, and neither is it a commodity, nor is it finite. It's infinite. It's you. It's buried somewhere under the debris of all these misconceptions. I have never been given love, and so I can't give it to others. I can't do this, I can't do that, and you sit and wait for somebody to give you love. Why? Because the other 8 billion people are also feeling the same thing. Who's going to start? Where is it going to begin? That's how samsara keeps going and going and going. Each one is waiting for the other to forgive. Each one is waiting for another to be loving. Each one is waiting for the other one to be kind. Each one is waiting for the other one to be accommodative. How are we going to do this? Somewhere one has to dare to take the leap. Somewhere one has to start. Somewhere one has to proceed. Why not you? Why not now? You are in a safe place. You are in a place where such thoughts are nurtured, and there is there is an encouragement to nurture this. So even though you are feeling that you are faking it and making it quote unquote, it's not faking it. You think you are faking it. So be kind, especially when you don't want to. Give, especially when you don't feel like. One hand is ready to give, the other hand says, no, don't give. That's what is happening. Give when you don't feel like. Grow into a compassionate being. How? By practicing compassion all the time. Yes.
Are we born with these seeds, or it's like when we are growing up with these
Ajnanam. Ajnanam is the soil that nurtures these seeds. Yeah. That's what it is. Ajnanam.
Today you mentioned free will as well. Can you tell me?
Can't hear.
Today you mentioned free will as well. Can you tell me where do the power of the seeds ends? Where does free will start?
Yeah. Free will is there. Free will is there, and tendencies are there, and is also there. That is what we have to remember. So the tendencies don't get you down in difficult situations. Because that is, you may say, oh, it's because of karma I'm feeling angry. Karma cannot give you anger or even sorrow. Karma can give you physical discomfort. It's that which converts the physical discomfort into sorrow is all one's own offsprings of ajnanam in the form of raga dvesha. You just have to ask one question, why me? And then sorrow comes. Change that question from now on. Say, why not me? It had to happen to somebody. Why not me? Text, please. Thank you. It's all about changing the recording. The record that is playing mindlessly and keeping us. It's like I read somewhere, somebody did research in America on the kinds of music they play in supermarkets and malls and all. And the kinds of music they play, maybe here also, but this research was done in America. And the kinds of music subliminally make you buy lots of things you don't want. There's something in that music that is there that activates you to just keep on collecting, keep on buying it. Then you go home and you're shocked. Why did I do all these things? Things you don't want, useless things, hopeless things, and purposeless things you keep buying. And the same thing in the supermarket, you are convinced you need a lot more things than you really want. There's something in the harmony and the kind of music they choose to play, and it's not very loud, it's very soft. You almost don't notice it. It has somehow got under your skin, and that is what it is programming you in a certain way. And so like that, there are certain tendencies. And those tendencies you have to come out of. That's the thing. Through vigilance, through inner vigilance. That is the idea. Because one is not programmed. So you have to remember that I'm not programmed, and here I'm just responding to a certain situation, but I have the freedom, and here I have the freedom to walk out of the mall, out of the supermarket. I don't have to stay here being programmed by them like that. Okay. Verse number 70. I don't know where we stop, but we are going to skip the next that one. Kurute Ganga Sagar Gamanam. Kurute Ganga Sagar Gamanam. Vrata Paripalanam Athava Danam. Vrata Paripalanam Athava Danam. Jnana Vihina Sarvamatena. Jnana Vihina Sarvamatena. Now, in the last line, you put the na after bhajati. Otherwise, the meter is going to be messed up. Muktim bhajati na janmashatena. Muktim bhajati na janmashatena. Yeah. So here is another kind of a person who does everything for moksha except self-knowledge. Only one thing is left out from their pursuit. What is that? Self-knowledge. Everything else they are doing. So, Kurute does. What does the person do? Ganga Sagara Gamanam, where the Ganga meets the ocean. That's supposed to be a very holy place. Why is it holy? Because you are like the river. You have come from some origin you don't know. And through the difficulties of life, through various bends and under impossible situation, almost dried up somewhere, became hopeless, helpless, and became dry like a riverbed that you see when you walk in the back here. And then somehow, due to some grace, got hold of another aquifer and continued and then finally made it to the ocean. What is the ocean? The destination, Ishvara, Brahman. That's why when the river meets the ocean, that is what one is celebrating. Aha, the jiva has become one, as though it already was one, but become one with Ishvara. And people go at that spot and sit there, lie down there, and then drink the water there and do puja there. All without studying. Because really, even though metaphorically it means the merging of the jiva with Ishvara, it's like a Mahavakya that one can actually see, the oneness that one can see. It's really no point in going to see that oneness without being that oneness. That is the idea. So, Kurute Gamanam, Ganga Sagar Gamanam, so they take big pilgrimages. And where will they go? To West Bengal, they will go to see the end of the Ganga. The Ganga becoming one with the Indian Ocean. How? From a place of separateness, from a place of complete disconnection, that, they want that, but they don't know how to get that. They don't know that Atma Jnanam is the only way, because the separation is as though. The separation is purely cognitive. The alienation between myself and the whole, and myself and Brahman, Ishvara, whatever it is, that separation, that sense of disconnect is a notion. There is no separation. How are you going to know that? You have to study. And you have to overcome lifetime after lifetimes of orientations. Habitual orientations in Sanskritam known as Viparita Bhavana. Oppositional tendencies. I know I am Brahman, ... but I don't behave like Brahman. I get angry, I get sad, I get upset, I get impatient, I get annoyed. So, I know I am Brahman, but I don't behave like Brahman. Here's the disconnect. That has to be through Shravanam first, Mananam if needed. Shravanam is the only sadhanam for knowing. Mananam does not give new knowledge. There is no new knowledge that comes from Mananam. Mananam just clarifies doubts and rids the knowledge of doubts. And then Nididhyasanam, if needed, is very good for overcoming oppositional tendencies. So you know you are Brahman and you will behave exactly like Brahman. That is the idea. And so so here going to these pilgrimages is wonderful. You will get some punya. Next life, silver spoon in the mouth, golden spoon in the mouth, very nice. But then, what is the use? What is the use if this ajnanam is not being dispelled, and if there is no tendency, if there is no desire to do this? So all these pilgrimages are wasted. Why are they wasted? Because it's like wearing a suit, a tuxedo, and staying at home. Yeah. You take great pains to iron the tuxedo, and you take great pains to know how to tie a bow tie and all these things, and then you sit at home. And people say, what? You're going out somewhere? No. Oh, you're having an event at home? No. Then why are you wearing this? Just like that. All dressed up, no place to go. This is exactly what this is. So here, this Ganga, Sagara, Gamanam and all these things must give emotional maturity. It's like wearing a suit, but then you should be able to gain Atma Jnana. Otherwise, wearing a suit to sit at home is of no use at all. And so here, various other things that people do are enlisted. What is that? Vrata Paripalanam. Vrata Paripalanam. Savitri, Ekadashi, one fasts. And then Amavasya also one fast. No moon, no food. And that kind of makes sense. And then whatever, then people are asked to fast on the day, whichever day of the weakest planet in their horoscope. Okay, yeah. On the weakest planet in the horoscope, you are asked to fast. If Shukra, Venus is weak, then keep a fast on Friday. Guru is weak, keep a fast on Thursday. Like that. So Sun is weak, you don't eat on Sundays. So like this, there is one more fast. So many fasts. And then there is things like Mahashivaratri, where you don't eat at all. And then there is 9 days. Chaitra Navaratri, and then also the other Navaratri that comes in the fall, October month. And then there are also 9 days, some people don't even drink water and keep a fast. It's a cleansing, inner cleansing and a kind of an outer cleansing, but my question is, for what? That is the thing. And then fast means people have strange ideas of fast. So they say, okay, I won't eat rice and dal, but I'll eat everything else. And we have our own version of fast food, meaning the grains are all, you don't eat grains, you eat seeds, like amaranth, what is the Rajgira, you eat that, and then you eat, chestnut flour. You make chapatis out of chestnut flour and eat that, and supposedly that is okay, but you can't eat wheat. And then you eat other things like this. So the stomach is full, but then technically, and then you put some other kind of a unprocessed salt. And then you say, I'm going to fast, I'm not eating sabji. Why? Because it has processed salt. I am into unprocessed salt. So there are certain rules. No harm. Respect the rules, no problem. But understand that the rules are not going to give you what you are really seeking. So Gurudev Vratapalanam, that Gurudev, that does must be brought down here. Okay, so Gurudev Ganga Savagara, and for our understanding, Gurudev what? Vrata Paripalanam, Athava, otherwise what else? Dhanam. Give to people who are sitting in front of the temple, etc. Give food, give clothes, wonderful. But then most people give with a feeling that it will take me to heaven. Selfie with Indra. Free ride on Airavata. What is Airavata? Indra's elephant. Yeah, free elephant ride. All these things are there to look forward to. Crows with teeth. I can have darshan and take a photo. All these things become, the afterlife looms large. And so they feel like by dhanam, here, they can secure a place somewhere there. I'll get a bungalow. How? Nobody knows. And people take advantage also, not just in the Hindu tradition, in other traditions also. One, I don't know what his name was, I forgot, some kind of a religious person, Maulvi or something, he got caught because he was saying, do you want a mango tree in heaven when you go? And how to say no? Yes, I would love a mango tree in heaven, give me 2 lakhs here. And then I will assure you, I will pray for you and assure you that you get your mango tree in heaven. You want 5 mango trees? Discount. You don't have to give 10, you give 8. I'll throw in an extra, like this. And then they got him. People complained. Because this kind of a promise is just exploiting people's sensibilities. Even in Atlanta, there was one such person who was just saying, you are just one yajna away from moksha. Yajna means fire ritual. And then, what to do for that? $25,000 just deposit into this account, and then I'll take care of that. He too is behind bars. He was convicted. And so, like this. So, Danam means the Bhagavad Gita will herself tell who to give and who to not give. Yeah. And how to give. Upanishad also tells. Priyadeyam, bhiyadeyam, samvidadeyam. Give with a sense of modesty. Give with a sense of abundance. Give with a sense of fear. Fear doesn't mean exactly fear. Like a feeling of, I wish there was more to give, like that, from a sense of humility. All these are given. And who to give. And what is sattvic giving? Datavyam yaddanam tat sattvikam uchyate. Bhagavad Gita says. That which is done just because it needs to be done. Not because I need some ulterior motive. That kind of dhanam is called sattvika. Coming from sattva, coming from the purest place in the heart. Not true, not because of something that I will get in its stead. And then, so vrata paripalanam athava dhanam. So sarva matena, according to all scholars, munis, rishis, brahmavids, people who know Brahman, and jnanis, people of self-knowledge, na bhajati muktim janma shatena. So these actions and the people who do these kinds of actions for the sake of moksha, it is assured, say all the scholars and the people sages and scholars say, what do they say? They will never get moksha even after taking 100 births. Why? Because there is no connection between sadhana and sadhya. Sadhana practices. And what are the practices here? Going to the place where the river meets the ocean. And then doing all kinds of rituals, giving of alms, and all these things. Without study, jnana vihina, without really studying, without really seeing the problem here. And so even after, if they take 100 births, they will not know that they are free. Then the next one is authentic sadhus are described in the next verse. Suramandira tarumula nivasaha Shayya bhutalamajinam vasaha Sarva parigraha bhogatyagaha Kasya sukham na karoti viragaha. So these are wandering ascetics described here. So they just live and sleep wherever. Sura Mandira, Bhagavan's temples everywhere. I mean, in front of the temple, if somebody lies down, nobody has the heart to say, get out of here, push off. They may say that, but then the person goes somewhere else and sleeps. So, no problem. So, Sura Mandira or Tarutala Nivasa. Taru is tree. Under the tree, one can sit, one can sleep. Extra oxygen you can get sitting under the tree. So, they are not thinking. We are all so spoiled. One day AC does not work, and then we are saying how to sit for class, and then mentally booking the ticket back to the native place. And so like this, all these things are there. very difficult to go without food, very difficult to go without all the comforts that creature comfort. They are called creature comforts because we have taken it for granted. Electricity, if it's not there, oh no. Wi-Fi, this is another thing. Wi-Fi, it is not there means the world stops moving. We are all, we are all products of this, dependence, products of total dependence. We won't be able to live like this. Those days are gone. In fact, I think Pujya Swamiji was one of the endangered species who lived like that. We had a hut right here, and then at that time the water hadn't receded so much, there was so much water, and it could be flooded any time. It could, it was a thatched hut. Pictures are there, you please go and see. Thatched hut, and that's where he lived. In the morning he used to walk about 1.5 kilometers to go and study Brahma Sutra from Swami Tarananda ji. That the last one up from Swami Tarananda ji, and then come back and then go in the different direction to go for Bhiksha in this place called Kali Kambliwala, and then there would be Bhiksha. Even in those days there was Bhiksha. So you carry a handkerchief which is knotted in a particular way. That's where you have your rotis. And then there is like a long dabba with a handle. And in that everything is mixed up. Whatever is given is mixed up. Sabji and dal and all is mixed up. Why? Because it's mixed up in the stomach anyway. Just the dry and the wet are different. In fact, Pujya Swamiji has made us go like this. He used to himself give us all these little things, and then he used to say, go for Bhiksha and come. And then, so this is how he used to eat. And in the evening, a small group of people would gather to hear him speak, and he would speak, and then nightfall everybody went and slept. No, but before that he used to go to the Andhra ashram and then sing bhajans. He was a very good singer, so people called him to sing bhajans. This used to be his daily life. And so the sages, we can't live like that. No, those days are gone. That is what it is. We can't handle creepy crawlies with which we have to make friends, with which we have to live. But we don't know how to do that. Everything is there, difficult. And in those days, scorpions, Bichu scorpion, right? Yeah. So they used to come into the room. They used to come into because all just a stone floor or a concrete little pad over which the thatched roof was built. That's all it was. And then he told us once, Pujya Swamiji, that he was writing something about the Brahma Sutras. He had almost finished that. And then he was making tea, and the whole hut went up in flames. And a few sadhus gathered, and they said, oh, nice, Vairagya, wonderful. So nobody even made an attempt to douse the flames because it was useless. Because thatched straw. No point in trying to douse the flames. It had eaten it all up, small hut gone. And so then he said, okay, I'm supposed to teach, I'm not supposed to write, he said. And so that was that is an endangered species. Who lives like that now? Even the sadhu wants, what is that, filtered water and Wi-Fi and USB stick, and then what else? Digital Fitbit, okay, and then all these things. How do I know they want all this? Because when a sadhu passes away, we don't call it death. We call it what? Mahasamadhi. Gone into samadhi from which no coming back is happening. Okay, so that is called Mahasamadhi. And so when there is a Mahasamadhi for the sadhu, there is no end of life things done. Because they are not keeping the fire, they have given up the fire gathered from the parents which they are supposed to keep through yajna daily, that has been given up. And they have done Atma Shraddha, meaning they have already done their last rituals. Before the sannyasa is taken, you do your final rituals because you don't want to be a burden on anyone else. That's how it's a fantastic practice. So there is nothing to do. And then there is a belief that there are 16 kalas. The perfect person has 16 aspects. And then, so on the 16th day, to commemorate and to celebrate the oneness with Bhagavan of the departed sadhu, the one who has left the body, the one who has had Mahasamadhi, 16 sadhus are called to come and dine, and 16 items are given for each of them. So in the beginning it was just one rug and one set of clothes and things. But now the items have evolved. So there is a USB stick and there is a Wi-Fi dongle, one more item, and then all these things, which is nice. But that's what I'm saying. This what we are reading here is that just kind of ended, in the generation of our Pujya Swamiji. Not to say that there might be some unsung heroes and heroines in the form of sages and saints in the Himalayas, but we don't know of them. We don't know of them. They may be unsung, they will never come out and say, okay, write an article about me, study me, they will not say. But this is a lifestyle that is no longer being, generally speaking, practiced. So Shayya Bhutalam, meaning Mother Earth is my bed. Ajinam Vasaha, my clothes are deer skin. Deer skin because the deer is non-violent and non-aggressive, and one wants that kind of a life. So let me add, a deer that has died a natural death. It's not skinned for the purpose of making a fashion statement of the sadhu's clothes. Yeah. So, sarva parigraha bhoga tyagaha. Tyagaha, giving up. Bhogasya tyagaha. The tyaga of bhoga. What is bhoga? Enjoyment. So, the giving up of enjoyment of what? Of all kinds of possessions. So, giving up of the enjoyment connected to various possessions where there is dependency. So, when that dependency is gone, kasya sukham na karoti viragaha. Viragaha, the absence of raga, the absence of strong preferences. We saw that already in the morning class. And so, viragaha, so sukham na karoti, rhetorical questions. Kasya sukham na karoti. For whom will such a lifestyle not give happiness? And that is a rhetorical question. You should not answer here, nobody will be happy with this kind of a life. That's not the idea. Okay? But how will they be happy with this life? Tomorrow we will see.